We were not waiting on me, to be very clear. No.
We were.
Actually, you know what? This is a perfect example because you can tell what order we got here in based on the screen layout. And the way the screen layout is, Anthony, Kash was actually here before me, but I put myself on the screen first. And then you had Kaecey, who came in at the end. Kaecey. He's not the best color man in the business for nothing. Anyways.
You're complaining why? You're trying to justify like a politician and trying to say that this is not my problem. This is everybody else's fault.
Would it be unprofessional if I eat my cheeseburger on camera?
No, there's a whole grouping of like a fetish. It'd be like, you know, and then you add to it that you're a minority, so it's black man eats a cheeseburger in a wife beater tank top with a black do-rag.
Let me you about something. I've been meaning to say this. I'm only the minority in America. Worldwide, it's a lot more brothers.
Facts.
Just saying, you're the minority. Take that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do we control the bulk of the world's wealth? Anyways, oh man.
Good. Well, you know, I gotta point one more thing out. You don't wear a yarmulke.
Oh, that's true. I thought you were gonna just call me out for being broke and poor. Thanks. That's actually
together, brother. We're in that boat together.
That's why I put the mustache back. I was like, I need my facial hair to better match my bank account. So I went mustache and just a step above EBT program. I figured that was the right way to go.
I figured I wanted to wear my beard just to match the description that they had of me all over the news on January 6th. Terrorist.
I thought it was because you couldn't afford a razor. All right, so
right now I can't. It's the truth.
I'm not gonna fight you on that
one. Help me, I'm poor.
Help me, I'm poor. We got some people pouring in right now. We're kind of just stalling to let people get a second to come in. I see people sharing it on X and all the good things. Actually, Kaecey, before we get into today, you know what? I'm going to tell people what we're talking about. And then Kaecey, give the description on how to comment on Twitter like you did yesterday when I was watching you guys. But tonight's show, we're talking debate fallout, Biden's speech last evening that Kash and Kaecey already spoke about a little bit. I had a lot of opinions on what they were saying, so I wanted to jump in a little bit. Alvin Bragg said that he could potentially move the date of Trump's sentencing based on the Supreme Court's ruling, even though it's got nothing to do with it. It's just another move. Whatever.
I thought that came out that he already did.
What, Kash? You just you're literally ruining the end of the movie. We're gonna get there. God,
no black folks.
This is just like every other movie theater you go to. The black guy and the black woman ruining it in the seat behind us by yelling what's going on. Pookie, boo-boo, shut up.
Get out of there. Don't go in there. Don't go in
there. This is the most racist start to a show we've ever had. And then we're going to talk.
Funny.
It's funny. I'm also never going to be able to get a job again. Supreme Court ruling. We're going to talk about all those things and maybe anything else that comes up as we get going on this. So like this video, share this video, do all the things with this video. Tony missed the whole 4-minute speech. You didn't miss much. It's just like missing a 4-inch penis. Not worth it.
Put this on Pilled? What is wrong with you?
Oh, put it on Pilled.
Did you? I did not make a post on Pilled. I
didn't either. I thought Russo was going to handle it since he was the one.
No, he asked me to schedule it, but I did not.
I'm on the road.
Russo, you're a Pilled hater, bro. That's what you are. You don't like.
I like Pilled. I want to do more Pilled.
I bet you do like pills, junkie.
So I'm not Corey Lemley. Give me a break.
Whoa, come on.
God, he's human garbage. I'm sorry. Like he's
my comments. You know, he does.
He's one step. He turns out to be one step above people that abandon their pets. One step.
One step. That's pretty. Hey, you know what though? I mean,
it means there's worse.
Yeah.
Y'all are on extra crazy tonight. Yeah, I would say so. I'm going to give a funny story before we get started. And then actually, Kaecey, go ahead and tell people. Are you busy? You're doing this.
Give me 3 minutes.
All right. He's doing the tech stuff on Pilled. Let me tell you, Kash, you're going to appreciate this story. So first off, we're in Malala, Oregon earlier today. Gorgeous town. Big. I met an Australian guy last night. This is story time. This is story catch-up time. Australian guy. He's an professional bullfighter. And for some odd reason, he sees the Texas plate, apparently knows that we're on the same team. He comes up, he's like, "You're from Texas?" mate. And I was like, yeah, I'm from Texas. He goes, I lived down there for years. He's named the town. I go, where do you live now? He goes, oh, I live, a couple hours up the road in Oregon. I go, it's gorgeous up here. He goes, yeah, it's beautiful. Bunch of liberal fucks, though. And I was like, love it. So him and I, we got into like literally a 45-minute political discussion. He talked about how he used to love Australia, and he's like, it had its political issues. He went back recently, and he's like, it's garbage. Everywhere is garbage. And he goes, but real talk, when are we going to get over this pride, he, she, they bullshit? And I'm like, I love it.
You have the worst Australian accent ever, by the way. You could have made.
You have the worst face ever.
You could. It's not as worse as yours. You covered up with the stash. But bro,
exactly.
You could have did a far better impression of an Australian than that.
For me to do impressions, it has to be right after I had the talk with them, and then I could do it a little bit. But horrible. A day later,
it doesn't negate from the fact that was horrible. It was just bad. Work on it.
Hold on. Let me work on my my Kash accent real quick. Hold on, Kash. I'm gonna ask you to do an Australian accent.
All right, Mike. I'm gonna tell you, go and fuck yourself. How about that, Mike?
Yeah, we're on a whole fun battle. So last thing I'll say about Malala. So Kaecey will understand this because he's been to rodeos before. These people were such strict rule followers. Also, it was because it's Oregon and it's blue. It was $50 for us to eat fair food for dinner. I'm like, this is stupid. But then to be worse, you had the team ropers, which means there's a guy on a horse with a rope and his teammate. And they had to get into one side. And usually a rodeo sees a guy with their shirt on, like with their rodeo shirt on, with the horse, with the rope. They just let him in. They were making them show their stamps in order to get into the arena. I've never seen that in my whole entire life. I had my girlfriend's WPRA card. I had Kelly's card, and they would not let me in without going to the show, the office, and getting a stamp. It was absolutely ridiculous. And then on the drive here, my last story about Oregon, liberal Oregon, there's a farmer driving his like wide piece of equipment, and I'm like trying to get off as far as I can, and there turns out to be like a extra shoulder area. I'm like, I'm going to use it. Kelly's like, just keep going. And I'm like, no, I want to give him room because he's pretty wide. So I give him as much room as I can, and he's yelling at me the whole way. He's like, move over. I'm like, even the farmers are liberal assholes in this friggin' place. Needless to say, I do love Oregon for one reason. We're staying at our good friend of ours' house who's very nice to us and lets us stay. Besides that, the rest of Oregon can suck on some leftist nuts. That's it.
Facts.
Very well
What
put.
is this?
That was, you articulated yourself very well.
Thank you. Was it Australian articulation?
Mm-mm.
No.
Good old-fashioned American.
What is this? Denise says, I was watching a video you showed us, but it was only part of the story. How can I watch the rest of all of it? Because I'm sure I didn't catch the first part either. Thank you so much. I believe, Kash, you were the one that has it or put it out for us. I don't know, but out of context, that is very confusing.
Not really.
I think that follows
about Pilled? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so all you gotta do is go on pill.net, and all of it's there. So all the different videos that we did, they're all there. That's one good thing about pill.net. They don't delete your stuff. Once you go live, it stays up there, and you can go back and watch all the replays. So I recommend that you do that. Just want to say shout out to everybody that's watching right now. I see you guys in the comments. Denise, Kim Whitaker, shout out. Rose Huff, love you. Dawn, love you. Rowana, love you guys. Palmetto, there's a whole bunch of you guys all in the comments. I appreciate you. Love you to death. Can you do us a favor? Like this video and share this video out so we can crush this algorithm that has been crushing us for so long.
Do all the things with this video. All right, we're about to get started, so I'm going to go ahead and kick it where you lick it. What?
Good intro.
Yes, it's excellent. Your new intros are going to be really good for the Conspiracy Compass. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show this evening. We're going to kind of try to keep it to the next 45 minutes, make it a total hour for the show. We're going to talk about the debate. Shut up, Kaecey. You know that's a lie. Biden's speech last evening, all 3.5 minutes of it, which also explains pretty much the amount of time most people have sex in the United States of America that are liberal. Leftists. I should say leftists because I think liberals are,
How long is that?
3.5 minutes.
Oh, I'm a super conservative. Yes.
He makes up for his overall height with the amount of time he spends in the bedroom. Alvin Bragg, is he going to move the date? Don't want to spoil it. Supreme Court ruling, and we'll talk about a bunch of stuff. That's what we got on today's show. If you guys can, we've got some pretty cool gear. I know you guys always compliment it, but only a few people buy it. Kash has yet to see his shirt in person. One of Kash's shirts, "Unite, Don't Fight," with "Be the Change" on the bottom. That's what I got. Kash is actually representing the "Truth Will Set You Free" tank top. That's synonymous with Kid Rock and beating your wife. It's because it's. Can you even say wife beater anymore? Are we allowed to say that? Or is
this is the fresh out look right here, baby. This is exactly how I was when I was in prison. It just stuck with me. Just wear the white beaters with the do rag, barely shave, just a little bit, line it up just a little. When it gets a little scruffy, you just take it down, just like that. It's a prison.
I have to be honest. I don't like wearing the tank top, or the guinea tank top, as we call it as an Italian. I'm very hairy and it's too tight. It causes me to itch.
You got a manscape, bro.
I haven't manscaped since my dad passed away.
You can make a coat out of all that damn hair you got on you.
I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, it's another shirt. So Kaecey's out. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm out of the show. He can't. Too much man love.
Comments. What's up, Mama? Love you. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Mia. What's up, Punisher? Hey, Brenda. We got Lizzie, or not Lizzie B. We got
it's an A shirt.
K. No, I'm calling him K. K's in the comments. Yeah, you guys don't know.
If you don't know, now you know. I love that. Your mother is listening. She also has 9 grandchildren. I think she knows what you do. All right. If you like the gear, and Kaecey's got the "Big Government Sucks" shirt on, we have like 3,700 shirts. So just go to our website, awakenetwokestore.com, which I'm going to throw up in a second. Use Truth for 20% off. I'm going to keep that rolling on the bottom. Before we get started, we're right there. Kaecey, anything you want to tell the American people watching the show right now?
Don't trust the government, but we're going to jump in. If you're watching on X, click on the video so you can get the live chat on the side. Don't be commenting underneath the video. If you see the live chat starting to go on the side, that is where we can start pulling up your comments in here and on the screen, just like we do with others. So make sure you're clicking on the video and not commenting just in the post. Then that way we can pull them up.
I don't even see D. Where do you see D's comment? Did you see my comments yesterday, or was I doing it wrong?
No, I was seeing your comments.
No, we literally ignored them on purpose.
Got it. Cool. Anyways, we are down one black man.
So racist. It's like we have Joe Biden on the podcast tonight. Yeah.
Oh, man.
You want to see racist? Watch the last reel I just put up all over. That was racist.
What, you hating on Asians again? Is that what it is?
Joe Biden did it, not me.
Joe Biden did it. You know, the video of him saying there's no more N-word mayors, N-word this, N-word that. I don't like when that's used without context to explain to people what's going on there, because it looks like he's saying something that he said. He's repeating it, which at the time, it's still not okay, but at the time, you could use that word repeating somebody else before it was completely cancelable. He did plenty of racist things during his time, including, being close with high-ranking KKK members. But that video is a little bit deceptive, and I like to keep it with truth when it comes to.
I didn't even put that video.
I know you didn't. I'm not talking about it. I'm saying in general when people use that.
You got to see it. I'm telling you, got to see it.
Is it up right now? We could start the show with playing it.
Yes, it's 5 minutes long.
Okay, we're not starting the show.
Comparison of him and Trump. No, it's all them. It's
maybe we'll end the show. Remind me, and maybe we'll end the show with that one. How's that?
Good, bro.
Granted, that would take away from views on the actual video, so I don't know.
We don't care. We do this because we love the people.
Facts.
Are you eating French fries?
I am.
You unhealthy.
They're vegan French fries, though. This is
vegan French fries.
How are they vegan French fries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going
back.
This is a vegan burger made from a cow that only eats grass.
That is not vegan.
Hey, it identifies as vegan. Who cares? Anyways, guys, all right, Let's talk about the first half. Let's go. Let's chronologically work through this because let's be clear, the debate was a shit show. I went and we've talked about this since the night we had, the huge viewing and all that stuff. Shout out to Waz who shared this and shared it that night, and a bunch of people ended up watching with us. And shout out to Free, my best friend Free, who I'm never gonna live that down in my own brain, let alone his own Twitter page. Or X page.
I'm clipping.
I watched it thinking that Trump won. He did, but in all reality, a blind deaf squirrel could have won. I watched the RFK quote unquote real debate afterwards. I've talked to you guys about it since then, and that allowed me to rewatch Trump and Biden and then RFK, which again, it's not fair for RFK because he didn't have to respond to digs or personal digs or anything like that. So he just got to answer the questions, which is a little bit swayed in his favor. But at the same time, what I realized is Biden did so poorly, anybody would have won the debate. Trump was also poor. I would say Trump, I originally gave a high B to rewatching. Trump got a C at best. At best. I mean, there was he had some moments. He had a little bit of temperament. But at the ultimate, he did not answer so many questions. He left his foot off the gas pedal on Joe Biden's failures and just said, "You're the worst ever." He spoke in absolutes. Biden, I will say, I believe, lied more than Donald Trump did in actual lies.
Facts.
Trump, I would call him the embellisher in chief if he was pregnant. He loves to just speak in absolutes and embellish. Like that's the thing that bothered me, and there was not a lot of concrete facts or information. Kaecey, go ahead.
In big business, you have everybody at their level. And when you get to C levels and stuff like that, there's a lot of embellishing because it is talking about their group and how they do. That is big business. And that is what Donald Trump is doing. And so I am not surprised one bit that he would embellish and speak in vague terms like that, because they also said they're going to cut his mic off. So he had to figure out how he's going to cut it short and just get it done. And so he's going to call that out. And you're making me defend Donald Trump. So sorry, libertarians, but I am defending Donald Trump in this scenario.
Good job.
However, I do believe Donald Trump played to the level Joe Biden was putting out. That is why you saw that side of Donald Trump. If Donald Trump had Gavin Newsom on that stage, he would have been all in and been a lot worse on Gavin Newsom than the Joe Biden that showed up.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree that you play to your level of competition, but at the same time, that's a spin on a mediocre performance. Just the same way that Biden's camp is saying he struggled because Donald Trump told so many lies that it confused him. Like, that's bull crap. I think Kash is frozen. Did he lose his internet again?
I'm going to go out on a whim and say
God,
someone unplugged the internet at his house again.
He's so still right now. He's still like a little baby.
Oh, Jesus.
Good stuff.
God, I hate that view. So yeah, overall, I think Trump was just playing to the hand that he was seeing Biden. I think Trump was caught off guard with how how Joe Biden was just not on his game at all, was not on the good meds that he was on at the rally, what he was on in the speech last night for 4 minutes. He was a very different person. You could tell at the beginning he was speaking 1,000,000 miles per hour and then ended up trailing off. Joe Biden has never spoke like that at the beginning of any speech. But the debates, he was coming out on fire, like not making any sense, but he was just speaking extremely fast.
Are you talking, you think he was speaking fast during the debates that night?
Yeah. If you go back and look at the very beginning, he was just rambling and he didn't blink at all.
Interesting. I think, as I've said for a long time, I think that this is a setup. I think that this 100%. Is a long-standing setup that they wanted him up there to look foolish. And the weird thing is, Jill is just somebody is pushing him to continue. And there's rumors that Obama is like laughing at him behind his back, but it's whoever is running the country wants him to continue to run. But I don't see him being the candidate. I've said this for a long time. You and I have talked about it. I've talked about it on all the radio shows. Talked about it forever. And unfortunately, I just think it's going to be Gavin Newsom. I know a lot of people think it's going to be Michelle Obama, with some people still thinking it's going to be Hillary Clinton. I think that there is massive problems. Kash said the internet. I think there's massive problems that we run into. And again, as much as I think RFK did a decent, probably a better job than both of them, I still think the guy, obviously, for me, has to be Donald Trump. I think that's if RFK were the Democrat nominee and there was a chance for him to win, I think we'd have a very different conversation. I'd have to really struggle to see who I would pick, because right now I still believe that RFK is a wasted pick, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
is Sarah right here, Kash?
Yes.
You got it right, Sarah. I swear to God.
I was not going to say that. I was leaving it for somebody else.
It's so frustrating. You have no idea. It pisses me off so bad. It's one of them moments where I'm just like, why?
And which daughter is doing it?
Of course.
Oh, I think Cammy did it again. Hasn't fully come.
I'm telling you, bro. You ever seen Dawn of the Dead? You seen Dawn of the Dead before?
I haven't.
You never seen Dawn of the Dead, where they're the zombies that run and they're in the mall and all of that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you remember when his wife got pregnant with that baby, and she turned into a zombie, and the baby was born, and the baby was a zombie?
Yeah.
And it was like angry, and it was like, that's Cammy. Grown up. She's just an almost 5-year-old Dawn of the Dead zombie.
Well, you kind of look like a zombie right now, because there's like a 5-second delay in your mouth and the actual pixelated image of you. You look like an NPC character. Yeah, it's interesting.
You'll be able to make a lot of money.
That's awesome.
A lot of money on TikTok just acting as an NPC. So you might as well.
Good. Punisher said Kash as Biden's Wi-Fi. All right. So Kash, you didn't get to answer before. What's your, you and I both talked. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up, guys. You and I both talked about the overall Trump performance, where things are going. So kind of give your, once the excitement over how bad Biden did on Tuesday, whatever night that was, Thursday night, now that that's died down, how do you feel now that you can look back at it all in hindsight?
I mean, I feel Trump did a fantastic job. Personally, he had to spend most of the reason people, why didn't answer the questions? Because he was defending himself from what this idiot kept on saying. Of course, you're not going to have time to answer the question when you got the one question that he pivoted and gave a phenomenal answer was the January 6th question. That one, I felt like that was amazing. That was amazing. So I think that he did great. Joe Biden's an idiot, and he was telling all kind of lies that Trump had to defend himself against. So, I mean, I'm not mad at him for the way he answered the questions. I thought he did an amazing job. Trump 2024, ultra MAGA.
I'm still, again, like, would there be a difference in your mind? And I want to get to this because you guys have talked about this at length, and I'm having trouble getting the actual information because I do think he could be replaced based on everything that I know pretty easily.
He can 100% be replaced.
But so this, you guys have been talking about this. Isn't it too late for some of the states to replace him and they can't move the campaign funds on the ballot? So have we debunked this conversation, Kaecey?
Oh, go ahead, Kaecey.
Or Kash?
I wouldn't say we debunked it, but there's an avenue. So like, and this is what we were explaining, is the avenue with this is you have to allow the states to go into a special session and vote on a decision of a direction. And this is where I think the 25th Amendment falls in. If they pull the 25th Amendment, when have we ever done this going into an election with only a few months left? Never. So each state would go in, vote on how they're going to handle this, and handle it appropriately by allowing somebody else in. You have to do that. I know a lot of us hate the left and hate the Democrats, and we don't want to see that done, but you have to allow that to happen for it to be fair and free elections. You have to allow that. So they have to go through and make a decision. The 25th Amendment makes sense. I see where it gets complicated is if he just bows out and walks away. I don't see it happening because I don't see half of the states actually participating in replacing him on the ballot.
So it has to be a decision by the DNC across the board.
Pretty much. And then all the states will feel like they have to go into a special session and make a decision. What do you think, Kash?
I disagree, and this is
Go
why.
ahead.
Some states, I gotta pull the names up. Some states have it to where it's too late in the game for them to put anybody else on the ballot.
No.
Even if they invoke the 25th because of the way the things are said. So like you said, they have like a special session in these different states that got that law.
Right.
But then again, it's going to show how they will bend the rules to try to get a win.
Correct.
That's all. But as it stands right now, he cannot leave unless they switch some laws around. They can't put nobody else on the ballot in certain states. So
Correct.
I don't see him bowing out. The only thing that can change that is if the person running passes away. Then they can put whoever they want on the ballot.
Which is just as likely to happen as a 25th Amendment being pulled.
But again, where I'm talking about the Democrat National Convention, where they have in their bylaws that they can replace the candidate at that time based on the vote of the actual delegates. So we're talking about having it on the ballot, but if it's already set in the actual bylaws of both the DNC and the RNC, the fact that there is this that they can't replace, I don't see which one supersedes each other, and the fact that that's a rule already, I believe with the 25th Amendment that could be a question. I don't see how they can't do what they want to. Like, this to me seems like such a minor hill for them to cross over. So
yeah,
I think
right. It is like 3 states. I believe you're right. It's like 3 states that got it to where they can't put nobody else on the ballot unless he passes away.
Yeah, but a special session overrides all of it. That's the part we have to remember. We are not asking for federal oversight of an election. Each state has the power to go in and make decisions. Pennsylvania did it during 2020. Many other states did during 2020. We have to remember that a state could go in, do a special session, vote, and do something in emergency and change how they're doing an election just before it's done. That can happen.
Military. I want the military to run the election, bro.
Guys, you're forgetting that they changed rules in Pennsylvania, Georgia, leading up to the. I'm just saying they're going to be like this is such a little. Even in those 3 states, it's the smallest speed bump on the planet for them to alter these rules. Like, it's not. It's a non-issue.
That's where I say the 25th Amendment gives everybody this comfy feeling of being able to say, "Look, he's not medically fit. We need a solution. Let's cave. Let's help." But if he just walks away, some states, especially if they're more purple red-ish, those states will be like, that's your fault. You did that to yourselves. And they won't do anything. But if they pull a 25th
So what are the
Amendment,
3 states? Again, I don't think the 25th Amendment's going to happen. I think it's going to be a decision for the DNC at that moment to say, hey, we want to make sure we win the election. We're going to go with somebody else. And like I've said, they're going to wait as long as humanly possible for it to be Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama. Here's the thing. If they make this right, if they make the switch earlier, it's going to be Michelle Obama. If they wait until the convention, if you don't hear of who they're going to replace until the convention, it's going to be Gavin Newsom. The later they can wait, the better, because Gavin Newsom's issue is not how he speaks. It's not the way he portrays himself. It's not how he looks. His issue is his history in California. And the American people don't get information fast enough, especially if they're middle ground voter or leftist, because social media and the mainstream media is run 90% liberal and leftist. So they're not going to be able to get the information on how bad Gavin Newsom really is. All they're going to see is a guy that's younger, that can actually debate with Trump, that can go bar for bar with him, punch for punch with him, and he looks the part, clean the part, and he doesn't make verbal gaffes. That's why he actually poses a threat to the Republicans, in my honest opinion.
You guys don't live west enough to be able to know. He's known on the west side.
It ain't happening. Anybody that they put up against Trump right now, they're fucking done, bro. They're done. Biden is their best chance. He is their best chance.
Not if his second debate goes as bad as I don't think he's going to make whatever second debate. But here's my question: you were off earlier, Kash, because of kitty internet issues. What if and this isn't going to happen because he's too big of a threat to the Democrat Party. What would happen if RFK moved to the Democrat? If the Democrats said we want RFK on,
then we have a problem.
I agree, 100% agree. If he had the backing of the Democrat Party,
there are conservatives that like him, and every Democrat would vote for him just because.
I'm gonna agree.
RFK sounds good. I like RFK personally. Personally, I like RFK, bro. I just don't like him more than Trump. So,
do you like guns, Kash? Do you like guns, Kash?
Yeah, I like guns. No, I don't.
Then you can't like RFK.
I do not like guns. I will stay away from guns.
I know that was a trap, Kaecey. What are you trying to do? You trying to get our boy locked up?
No, hey, he is still an American, and yes, he can still support our Second Amendment.
I'm property of the United States BOP right now, okay? The Bureau of Prisons. I am property of the United States government right now, legally. I don't like guns. Ban them all.
That's that COVID vaccine speaking. That's what I'm
You
hearing.
call it whatever you want. I call it I'm staying free until this damn probation's over. I hate guns. Guns are the enemy of the people. People don't kill people. Guns kill people.
Speaking of free, we're 30 minutes into the show, and I just want to give a shout out to my good friend Free. Again, want to say hello. Still an asshole for the other night. Anyways,
I think seeing David in the chat here. I think we just need to go with Trudeau as our president. That's how we're going to solve this whole problem. So
is he Canadian?
I disagree. I disagree about him being. I just think we have very different ideologies, in my opinion, on RFK. And like,
I wouldn't say he's not honest because he's been very honest.
He's faced he literally is like his family's disowned him, his party has disowned him. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And and so this is I like to not lie, like, because it's not about you lying, it's about what people have said. So RFK, when he talks about abortion, he says any abortion is a tragedy. He says he's actually on the same path essentially as Donald Trump with it should be states' rights. And if the state decides that they want it that way, then it's up to the states. He still thinks it's a tragedy. He's got mixed emotions on abortion, and that's it. So, but he does not support. He definitely does not support abortion up to 9 months. He supports the ability for people to vote as a state by state basis on what they want. So let's just
want to point out he did not call Free an asshole. He called himself an asshole because of what happened with Free.
Oh yeah, no, I'm an asshole. Free is not the asshole. Free is an amazing human who I owe a lot to because I honestly I don't
imagine that one right there, Russo. If I hadn't caught that one right there, bro, somebody would have went back to Free and be like, why is this guy on this fucking platform calling you an asshole?
Did I actually say I didn't say he was an asshole, did I?
You didn't. No, you didn't. But it could have been interpreted that way.
No, but
it's funny because that could have started a whole new beef.
No, I'm clipping that whole statement from Russo too. We're gonna post that all over.
Jeez. Okay. So to answer this question, so RFK has said a couple different things when he was interviewed by Iowa News right in the beginning of his campaign last year. He gave they forced him into a box, and his arbitrary number was about was it 11?
Like 3 months?
I think it was 15 weeks. It was 3 months to 15 weeks. That was his abortion cutoff date, was 15 weeks, and then after that. They got him saying that would he be okay with abortion up to the date of birth, which his response was vague in terms of it's a tragedy, but it's the woman's right based on whatever the law of the state is. So it's convoluted. What I believe his belief is probably 15 weeks would be what I would pick up from.
His belief is put it back to the states, let the states decide on how they're going to do it.
Which is what Trump's belief was too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can we cover Project 2025?
Yeah, let's
the whole show because it's about 1,000 pages long.
Let's do it.
Somebody was just talking about Project 2025. Is that something about? Is it racially based?
No. They've been fucking putting all kind of bullshit behind this, saying that Trump wants to become a dictator and all take away women's rights, and because he's talking about destroying public at the Department of Education, like just doing away with it, doing away with the FBI, everything. Like, yes. And then creating new schools, right, that push American and Christian values. So having schools that encourage Christianity and indoctrinate, and that's the verbiage used, indoctrination of Christianity into the new, the people that go to that school.
Right.
But when I looked at it, because I'm not even deep into it, right? I've been looking into it here and there, trying to get it.
That's the first time I've ever heard Kash say it wasn't deep. Anyways, go ahead.
That's funny. But yeah, no, man, it's like people are now putting out all these videos that Trump wants to become a dictator. He wants to take away women's rights. He wants to do away with the sanctity or with LGBTQs being able to be married and all this, and put us back to a Christian nation. Now, number one, this is because I got into it with Suni and Deontay on her live, because I was under the assumption that what he was saying was not Trump, but Deontay. He was saying more of like a theocracy. And I said, I am totally against the theocracy. Totally against the theocracy. But I am for pushing more Christian values. That you can't go wrong pushing more Christian values in a nation. I don't give a damn what you think or what religion you are. You can't go wrong if you're pushing real Christian values. Okay? Because that means you're going to be tolerant of people. You're not going to judge whatever religion you are. That's your religion. America stays America, right? But we're going to promote Christianity in schools. We're going to promote, and you have the option to go to these schools. You don't have to go there. You could go to another school. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? The freedom of choice of whatever school you want. But if the government's going to be doing it, the government's going to be pushing, the government ran schools pushing Christianity. I'm cool with that, right? The thing is, I noticed the people that are mad about it, like they asked me, I got into it. Somebody said, well, don't you support the LGBTQ? If you want to call me not giving a damn support, then okay, yeah, I support the LGBTQ. I don't give a damn what they do one way or the other. I just don't want it done in front of kids, right? That's my whole thing. Now, if they ban marriage, Kash, would you be mad? Fuck no, I wouldn't be mad. Again, I don't got a stake in the fight. I ain't trying to marry no man. You know what I'm saying? Number one. But number two, who gives a damn if you can't go and get married and have a certificate? Make a fucking certificate. If they ban it, it's not the end of the world. Well, aren't you afraid he's going to take away women's rights? Hell no, I don't even like when women talk now. That's a joke. I'm just saying. It's not what you guys think it is what I'm getting at. The people that look at it, it's insane the way that they try to push it out there as this horrible, bad thing. It's not. It's overall better for the country. The Project 2025, from what I've seen, maybe something will strike me and I'll be like, yo, this is too far gone right here. But default, we've been talking about the educational system, especially in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden you don't want to disband it and redo it? That shit sounds stupid to me. Let's redo it. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that. I'm all for that. So yeah, it's a bunch of things in there that I find.
I'll have to look more into it. So there was a comment, and I for the New York Times article, where was it, Matthew? So I got into it, and I've been reading it just now. So it's interesting. It breaks down the verbiage. I took it away from the New York Times, and I got it from more of the actual quotes. And it was an interview with Sage Steele, former ESPN host, who's become kind of more of a conservative voice. Should there be a limit, or are you saying all the way up to full term, a woman has the right to have an abortion? Kennedy answered that he doesn't think anyone would want to do that at 8 months of pregnancy, which, by the way, he's actually almost accurate on. It's very, very rare. And this is one of the mistakes the Republicans make by saying, like, they want to have abortions all the way up to the time of birth. The actual percentage is incredibly, incredibly slim. Now, does that make those okay? Absolutely not. But he says, but abortion should be out of the hands of the government and in the hands of women. Slightly misstated based on the way he says it, but he goes, so Steele continued to push Kennedy, asking if he agrees with Roe versus Wade standard or with abortion being left up to the states. And Kennedy reiterated the decision should not lie within the states, but with the mother, which I don't agree with. But again, this isn't quoted. That's a repeat. The quote was, even if it's full term, Kennedy said in response to a follow-up question, I don't think it's ever okay. He added, when Steele said would allow late-term abortions, Kennedy said, I think we have to leave it to the woman rather than the state. So I think his belief on that is definitely it's fully a woman's choice, which I don't really agree with. So I disagree with
that shit too. I disagree with that 100%. And let me tell you, the abortion shit is very difficult because, like, I'm not a woman. But I will say this. I think maybe don't be a hoe. And that would end it all. That would end all of it, because most of the abortions that happen in this country ain't happening with married, happy families. The abortions, and they're not happening because of grape and family members doing some foul shit. They're happening because a lot of these bitches is hoes. I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. That's the 100% truth, bro.
So his running mate, by the way, corrected that and said, I've spoken with Bobby quite a bit. He talks about abortion being a tragedy. I don't think he phrased his point correctly. So she said, that's not my understanding of his position. I think there's might have been a miscommunication there. So again, I don't know. I think his flaws with the abortion topic is part of it. I think some of it's climate change. I think he answered the climate change well during the actual debate, the side debate. Hold on. Last thing. When it comes to the abortion thing, I've talked about this from however long. I hate to say this, the abortion topic is not at the top of my list of importance of conversations. I think our daily Kaecey, I'm just saying, I think it's important to understand that that's going to change the election drastically. And I think that that's why I personally want to stay away from that topic, because there is no good answer to please the bulk of people, period.
I agree. Just want to point out, Punisher says that men are too. This is a true statement, bro. I was once a hoe, big time hoe. All right. That is 100% true. That is a very fair statement, except I can't get pregnant. And if I get a woman pregnant, I ain't got no say so on whether or not she has the baby. Now I can understand if they say, well, the men have responsibility too. If the woman doesn't want the baby, then the man gets the baby. Well, then you can use that. You can use that. You can't use that right now, because if I get a girl pregnant, she doesn't want the baby, and I do. Guess what? It doesn't matter. The judge is going to say, well, sorry, you got no rights here. It's her body, it's her choice. So if it's her body and her choice, she needs to be more responsible with her damn body, because a man is going to stick. That's it. I digress.
I get what you're saying. It's still responsibility on our part, but the part that I was wincing out at with you, Russo, is when it comes down to this whole thing and this entire picture, the important part is, as we keep asking for solutions, the federal government gets more involved. It is not a federal government decision.
Definitely not federal. Definitely not federal.
And that is why, and we have to make sure it's clear to be known, it's separating Roe v. Wade, why that is important to be torn down, and we allow the abortion decision to go back to the states. We have to allow that to happen. Kim mentioned it back. It's got to be voted on for abortion, and I agree with that. But at a state level, we cannot be making the decision from an abortion standpoint at the federal level. It has nothing to do with a presidential election. Nothing. But we are allowing the uni party to use that as a weapon to divide people, when really it comes down to your governor. That is where it matters, not the president.
I chose, just so you know, I chose to use protection when I was younger. I had a billy club with me. I had to fight those women off with a stick.
Yeah, but real talk, to answer Tanya's question, to answer her question, it's simple. If you know the risk, then you cover your ass. You wear protection, or you just don't have sex. That's pretty simple. It's cut and dry.
See, I never liked that viewpoint, because it's very difficult. Like we make poor decisions. We don't make poor decisions. We're carnal people. I think you and I both understand that. I mean, I think that there is I'm not one to judge people's let me put you in a moment real quick. And I know we're beating this like a dead horse. Put you in the moment where you're with a young woman, and that was a funny comment. You're the young woman, and you know your heart beating's fast, that butterfly moment, and it's like everything in your brain stops functioning just the same as it does for a woman, and you make a decision to have sex. Like the whole just don't have sex thing, I think is very difficult to throw that judgment on people, because it's not
I'm not throwing a judgment. I'm answering a question. If you know that you're on antibiotics and you're one of them women that says, I don't want to have a baby, and you know that you're on birth control, and that it's a possibility that your birth control cannot work because you're on antibiotics, well, then use protection, or just
you know that some people don't know that. Some people don't know that. Like some people, like they have poor. Either they weren't listening to their doctor.
Stupid people. We got stupid people having sex, having babies.
Or you have stupid doctors that don't say everything they need to say. And I think we can agree that there's a lot of doctors out there. They're like, hey, go get the jab. It's good. It's healthy. It's good. It's good.
Either
it's
way,
good. It's good. Yeah.
Either way, I just can't justify. I can't justify the taking of a life of a child just because you forgot.
I was 18 years old and wasn't informed. I think there's a lot of people like that. And I don't know what this
that happens.
Standard degrees of sexualization. I don't know.
STDs.
I don't know what STDs are.
If you had an abortion before passing your life, there's no judgment. We're talking about moving forward. We're talking about educating people right now in the moment. I did a lot of shit in my past that I'm not proud of. I was out here trying to unalive real life people that were already years living on this planet. You feel me? So, oh my God. So I'm not judging nobody. If you had an abortion before, cool. Just don't have one again. That's my opinion. You do whatever the hell you want. You're an American.
And I lie in that belief too. All right, let's go to the next topic. Let's talk a little bit about Biden's 3.5. Speaking of things that last 3.5 minutes. Ayo, bing. Okay. Get it? No. So the Supreme Court ruling yesterday. First off, completely misappropriated. They went way over the top on it, talking about the fact that now Trump can do whatever he wants to. I didn't even talk about Tapper. We got to make sure to get to Jake Tapper before we finish. But Supreme Court gives Joe Biden the legal okay to assassinate Donald Trump, is what Huffington Post put up. It's essentially, in Joe Biden's speech last night, it was pretty much making it seem like Donald Trump would be a king. He could do whatever he wanted. It's only in presidential duties, which we'll get to the fact that Alvin Bragg said that now he might have to move the sentencing for Donald Trump. Technically, what Donald Trump did there with the hush money case was not in his presidential duties. It should have no bearing on the Supreme Court decision. I do have an issue with the Supreme Court being drawn on party lines for the most part on this topic that should be about the Constitution. I understand that this is why you have conservative justices and you have liberal justices, but at the same time, it's an interpretation of the Constitution, and the fact that our Supreme Court has become just as partisan as our Congress is terrifying to me. It really is. That should be the backstop. That should be the last bastion of interpretation of the Constitution, and we've lost that to now more partisan politics. But fact is, they're making it out to seem that Trump could be an absolute king, and that's bullshit. It's strictly the insurrection charge that never happened. The talking about the Georgia case, that's the only true thing that has bearing on immunity. The rest of it's all bullshit. It's got nothing to do with the Supreme Court ruling yesterday, which is vague at best.
What do you think, Kash?
Well, guess we're moving on. Go ahead, Kash.
Y'all talk a lot. I'll keep this thing going. I think that people are just fucking stupid. I watched a couple videos. On X. I'm being honest, bro. I was on X and I'm scrolling, and this fucking bull dyke with this hat. She gets on there. She got her glasses on.
Say that. You can't say that.
My bad. No offense to actual
Subaru driving softball player. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, lumberjack chicks. I watched this video and she's like, Biden with the Supreme Court is a fucking joke. They're traitors. And she starts going on, and then she's like, Biden, you know what you got to do? You got to take his ass out. You can do it now. Now you can do it because of this ruling from these fucking people. You got to take him out because he is Hitler. He is. And then she's going in saying all types of shit, bro. So there's a lot of people like that with that kind of understanding of what happened with the Supreme Court ruling. And yeah, it's just a bunch of people who don't care to do their own research. They stay watching, fucking videos and reading articles made by left-wing propagandists. And yeah, they get fucking furious. And that's the whole goal of it in the first place, is to get people to be mad instead of being upset about something that actually matters.
And look, I hate Huffington Post. I think it's fucking terrible. But at the same time, this is one of those ones where you reach a new level. So they say Supreme Court gives Joe Biden the legal okay to assassinate Donald Trump. Supreme Court's decision that Donald Trump has full immunity for official acts. It's literally like when you're in an argument with your significant other or a child, and they throw out words that literally are like, all right, logically, don't be stupid. Like, this is not what it means. You and I both know that that's not what it means. So immunity for official acts, he took his presidents, it's so sweeping and vague that it opens the door for sitting presidents to do whatever they want without any accountability, including assassinating a political rival. That's it. Like, how stupid do you have to be to actually believe that? And unfortunately, now that Huffington Post, which some people on the left deem to be a semi-respectable leftist rag, people are going to think that this is true, just like the Subaru driving softball lumberjack that you talked about, and that's a problem. It's literally like the core of this is the government is the problem. The other core is the media is allowed to say whatever they want to divide and spread hate. And as much as I'm not a huge fan of Fox News, they're at least the best of the bunch. I'm sorry, anybody that thinks that Fox News is the worst needs to watch all the networks. Fox News actually has Democrats on their shows and has liberals. They look like idiots, but they at least allow for multiple pieces of conversation from different perspectives. And right now, by the way, we're almost at 600 people across all the platforms. Please hit the like button, hit the share button. All the people on X that are watching, make sure you follow either if you're watching on Truth Will Set You Free or Cash's page. Make sure you're actually hitting the follow after the show. Go ahead,
awesome,
Cash.
guys. Please do the follows and all of that. Yeah,
I see you had something to say. Harry Sisson's a sissy piece. It's ironic.
No, bro, I really don't. I don't have anything to say. I'm just so over this shit. This is like what we're seeing happening right now is exactly what happened when fucking Trump won, and you had liberals in the street and screaming, bro, just doing weird, crazy shit. They're back to doing the weird, crazy shit. They're coming out of nowhere, and they're reading shit like that article you just pulled up. They're reading that shit. They're like, oh, yeah. And this bitch, and this is the thing. And the reason why I call her a bitch, by the way, when I call hoes bitches and bitches hoes, I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about bitches and I'm talking about hoes. I'm not talking about women. All right. But this bitch, she gets up here and she starts calling for war. She's saying we're in a fucking war. This is a fucking war. And this bitch's voice got deep too. It's like, that's how I felt when I was watching. I'm like, this stupid bitch. And I'm watching the other chick. There's another, liberal chick. She's got hair, that's just flowing. She looks like a fucking librarian or something. And she's just going on a liberal fucking loony just tirade, saying some crazy shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why are these people like this? I don't understand. I really don't understand. And it's the only thing I can think of. Media, the left-wing media, and fucking Trump derangement syndrome. They just hate Trump so fucking much. Like, we don't do this much shit about Biden. I make jokes about Biden, but I don't wish death on the motherfucker. I pray for him. You feel me? I don't think that he's like the absolute Satan. I don't think that. Even though he gives off a lot of fucking evil vibes. I don't think that. And I don't come on and make videos like deranged like these fucking people. And it just blows my mind, bro. It blows my mind. That's all.
Last night we were talking about the fact that we knew that he was going to say this, or you guys were talking about the fact, and I was in agreement that he was going to talk about we have to save democracy. And there's Jake Tapper. I wanted to bring this up. So Jake Tapper on CNN actually called out the discernible pattern of Democrat officials lying to protect Biden. And I think that this could be deemed a little bit about the speech last night. But he accused Democrat officials of using Orwellian tactics to spin President Biden's debate performance. I feel that the Orwellian tactics also are from last night, because essentially Biden's been doing whatever he wants. His whole presidency, his administration has. He's been persecuting political opponents. He's been turning the country into a banana republic. He's been doing all of these things. And then he's saying, well, now if Trump wins, he's got the right to do it. Meanwhile, Biden's been doing it the whole time, which is very Orwellian. But Tapper talked about, after he co-moderated last week's presidential debate, seen as a disaster for Biden, as many people know. Many Democrats, liberals, actually, and the media called for Biden to step down and be replaced with another nominee. But then he noted this week, earlier in his Monday show monologue, there's a pattern. He called it a discernible pattern of Democratic officials seemingly trying to convince you, the public, to not believe what you saw and what you heard with your eyes and your ears on Thursday night. And essentially saying that this is Orwellian. That's a lie. He's talking about the fact that they are spinning it like this is the whole, he brought up the concept in Orwell's Belief, where you talk about the 2 + 2 = 5. He's actually calling out the Democrat leadership, which is about time. So he used the quote. He used the quote regarding Trump 5 years ago. It's relevant again today. He said, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. He promised that wouldn't happen on his show. And he said he'd be talking to those more willing to speak freely, honestly, and candidly about the candidate than the people running the Biden campaign, the people close to Biden, and frankly, most Democratic officials across the country. I think that was a bold move by him on CNN, where it's a network that typically will cause your role to be Hillaried. If you state anything that could be against the establishment and against the DNC.
The bitch called him Uncle Thomas, by the way. I didn't mean to. I just went back. I just had a flashback of she called him Uncle Thomas.
Who did?
The fucking the Larry the Cable Guy built bitch that I was talking about on the video. She called the man Uncle Thomas.
Who is she referring to?
The fucking Supreme Court justice.
Oh, to Clarence Thomas. Speaking of that, and I didn't put it on the computer. This was this is the level of idiocy. So this is some woman by the name of Rebecca Jones. There's 803,000 people saw this. Women were trying to save the nation from itself. We should have listened. I don't know the DeSantis one, but she has no Clarence Thomas, which is the chick that I think that there's been a lot of stories kind of disproving that whole story. But again, who knows? Wasn't it the pubic hair thing? No Trump. That the Hillary Clinton one makes no sense. Like, what is that? I mean, whatever. The no Kavanaugh. The fact that you put the no Kavanaugh one in there, that's a woman that literally admitted after the fact that we knew would never actually make the mainstream media that she may have been mistaken on who it was that was in the bed with her 36 years ago. She admitted that after the fact. That was never played to the leftist horde. Do you know who the DeSantis girl is? I've never heard about that one. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Anyways, but that's the stuff that just gets put out there that has no fact check. It has no basis, has no any conversation. It's just mind-boggling to me. And the Clarence Thomas thing, what I remember from that case, what was her name again? Anita, was it? The whole story got kind of railroaded when they talked about the fact that there was some political bias behind it. He was facing racism at the time. Anita Hill. I was going to say Anita Thomas. That never made it.
That one.
But there's some more story to that. But it's just this is the stuff that they're perpetrating. Now, when we talk about democracy on the line, I asked this question in the chat last night because I was having a disagreement with a woman yesterday when I was doing things and I didn't really get into it. People will say, we live in a democracy. We truly live in a constitutional republic, which operates with one of the tenets of that constitutional republic is the use of democracy.
Yeah.
We are
based off of the rules of the Constitution.
Based off the rules of the Constitution. A free democracy is something very different. That's where there is no true leadership.
That's majority rule. That's what the fuck that is. And nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Now, but because we do run on democracy, how do you properly answer the question? I know, Kaecey, this is one of your favorite topics. So I want to ask Kaecey on this one. When somebody says, explain to me why we are a constitutional republic and not a democracy, how do you answer that question?
You are electing people to represent you and to represent a group. So, for example, in the presidential elections, we elect delegates, and delegates actually have the power to sway an election. You or I, not being delegates in our states, do not have a say in the election. We don't. The delegates are where that is decided. Where all of those votes go depend on each state. So we elect people to represent us in a mass is pretty much what it is a constitutional republic. A democracy, we are a majority rules. That is the difference. And so that is the slimmed down version of it. There's some complexity in there in some other states, but majority, that's the blanket that covers the whole thing for a constitutional republic.
But if you're looking at state laws, and I want to correct this real quick because I love Kim
don't
Whitaker.
come at Kim, bro. No, nobody in the
she was joking.
Ever come at Kim Whitaker.
So she made a joke about she said about the bleach and disinfectant. She was mocking Biden. She knows the truth. He never said to drink bleach or inject it. She was just making a joke to me.
Well, I did. I never got COVID. Just saying.
You were injecting it
and drinking it.
You know what's funny? As much as Snoop Dogg for a long time did not support Trump, you know, one of his favorite beverages is Bleach. So, no, bad Cash. No.
What the fuck
anyways, I want to call it smart plant. Sorry, I'm looking at comments right now. I don't remember. What were we just talking about? I'm having a bad moment.
Can I simplify?
Constitutional republic.
I'll simplify it real quick.
Go ahead, simplify it, because I'm still trying to, like, I want the best description in order to make it make sense to people that are like, we're a democracy. I want it simple.
Okay. Democracy, majority rules.
Facts.
You vote, and if the majority wins the vote, then that's what it is no matter what. Right?
Yep.
But a constitutional republic that we have democracy, right? But based on something that we call a constitution. You can only vote within as long as it doesn't violate this. But then even deeper than that, like Kaecey said, you don't have a damn say about anything when it comes to, say, like a president. You vote, yes, but the delegates are the one who delegate. Plain and simple. You elect these people to say they represent me.
Right.
These people are going to speak on my behalf.
Right. Well, what about a bill in your state where it's like, do you want to pass, Section 2 bill, bill?
You gotta make sure that you elected the right fucking people, because they're the ones that's going to say yes.
Because
in a state scenario, it's majority.
So that's democracy.
Are not involved. Delegates are not involved.
So the states
what are we
operate.
Talking about here? What are you talking about?
So, like, if there's say like Kansas was a state that had abortion on the ballot, not the governor did not make the decision. So in the state of Kansas, that was red. They ended up voting for the right for a woman to choose in the state of Kansas because it was a ballot item. So that was democracy. That was not
a ballot item is completely different.
So we do operate. So to be clear, because I don't want to just now, like, after having the conversation with this person yesterday, we are a constitutional republic as a nation that has a heavy operation, even on a state level, of democracy. Correct?
Correct. So that's the part you have to separate.
Federally different. Federally, it's very constitutional republic, not democracy.
Correct. So everything you do at the state level, there could be a state that I don't know about, just to be very honest. But from my understanding, 50 states across the board, anything you decide locally is all based upon a majority. And so your delegates try to get primaries done and try to put up the right people, but we're putting in circumventing ideas. For example, here in Utah, which I was a support of many years ago, and now I am not, because it's being used by the rich people. They can actually use the signatures and get on the primary ballot and then be able to still be on the primary. It used to be in a lot of states that you had to go through the delegate process to be on the primary and be the primary, the nominee is what I'm trying to say. But now there's so many things that circumvent that and allow other routes to get on the ballot. We are turning into a democracy. But the part that we have to make sure we emphasize is federal is still following the delegates. Federal is still doing that. We can't change that.
This is why when a president wins the popular vote, he doesn't win the election per se. That's exactly why.
That's actually a great answer. That's a great, like, how do you make it make sense to people?
But where it doesn't make sense is because they look at state level, it's majority vote wins.
Right.
And so
from a federal, which the United States of America we're essentially referring to America, the federal concept, which is a constitutional
corporation. Yes,
our corporation, and the states operate on a high level of democracy. But there is a constitutional republic version of that, because there's meetings that go on without us making a decision.
Yes, because each state has a constitution.
Yeah.
State isn't full-blown democracy. There's some things where the state even this is what I was trying to say. So there are things even within your state, if you don't elect the right people to your Senate and to be your fucking congressmen and all of those things, it doesn't matter about what you think if you don't have the right representation even in your own state, because they will pass ballots or they will pass bills through to send them to become law. and you're not aware of it because you're not paying attention, and you elected this asshole who's for it. Same, just a regular thing.
I got you. All right, we got one other big topic. We're talking about Trump's hearing date being moved. Before we do that, since we've got 650 of you guys here, let's talk about the quick things we need to talk about. Kash, if you see the little ticker on the bottom, go ahead and explain to them a little bit about Freedom Box.
If you'd like to learn more about shopping and making a side income with Freedom Box, then go to freedomboxinfo.com. Like that?
Was that it?
Should I do my thing?
Do your thing. Do your. I didn't say to read. I said you see what's scrolling. Go ahead and do the Kash thing.
Gotcha. All right, here's the Kash thing. Check it out. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of woke corporations. I'm sick of seeing shit that I don't want to see when I go into the stores, and I'm pretty sick of just China, everything, China, all over China, everything. Every time you go to the store. So what I do is I shop American, I buy American, I support American-made business, and everything is made right here in America. This thing that I'm telling you about, you can get in touch with us at freedomboxinfo.com and learn all about it. It's a great way for you to save money, convert your home to more safer things for the environment and safer things for your overall health. And you can also earn an extra income if you are so inclined by doing exactly what I'm doing right now and telling other people about this store. So you want to learn more about it and how you can get involved, go to freedomboxinfo.com.
You've come a long way on that from the way you did it in the very beginning.
Yeah. Is it better or worse?
Kaecey, do you remember how he did it in the very beginning?
Not very well.
Like a lot of uhs in there.
No, it sounded a lot like, vote with your dollar, motherfucker, freedomboxinfo.com.
Well, I'm just speaking from the facts, bro. That's another thing. Yes, this is a great way for you to protest with your dollar. Protest with your dollar. That's what we got to do.
Protest.
Yeah, because the boycotts just don't work anymore. So instead, protest with your dollar box. You need shit. You can't go boycott nothing because you got things that you need. So the things that you need that are essential, you go to freedomboxinfo.com and you can get them there. I got my Freedom Box coming today or tomorrow. It'll be here Sunday.
He's about to put it in a Freedom Box later tonight. Okay. And that's how he has number 10. All right. What does this say? What is that last kind of thing? It's your money and you need. That's great. It's your money and you need it now.
Exactly right.
So the last couple things before we get into our final topic. So that's the Freedom Box. Make sure you check it out. Kash will reach out to you directly. If you just go to that site, fill it in. The water that we always drink, how clear is it, Kash?
It's so clear you can't even see it.
CenturyH2O.com. Use Russo 10 for 10% off. It's all the filtration systems. We've got it in the trailer. We've got it underneath the sink. We've got it all over the different place. Not in this house. I'm in a different house. I don't want to lie. It's not in this sink. But it's like $330. You get 30%, or you get, what did I say, 10% off if you use my code. And it is the best water you will have in your house, and it clears out everything and adds elements and minerals to what you're drinking. It's really good. And there's a whole bunch of white paper and information on the website. Last thing I'm going to tell you guys real fast. You're racist.
Why does it have to be white paper?
Yeah. Why does it got to be white paper?
Because there's no white ink, which is racist. There should be white ink.
Why? Everything else is white. Why do I got to have white ink now? See, you're so racist. Everything's got to be white to you.
God bless him. Anyways, doubledownspeaking.com. Tomorrow night, I'm doing my free speaking webinar at 6 o'clock Central Time. I do this whole fun thing on Wednesday nights. I missed it last week, where I have a 1 hour. I teach all the speaking stuff that I do. I'm the official on-field host for a lot of different things. NCAA championships for years up until, well, I'm too white to do that anymore, apparently. I have a recording from the NCAA on that one, by the way. But I do a lot of official hosting and speaking, Fox Big Noon Kickoff, all the things. We only want brown paper. I love it. That's perfect. Put that quote back up from her. That's ironic. We only want brown paper. It's obviously Jamie, the white woman, with her black husband, which I just say a brown husband.
He's not
brown
black.
Husband,
he's copper. He's a darker skinned American. He is copper.
Long time follower, Jamie Porter. Love it. Paper is racist.
Brothers.
A paper. So is paper racist if you get a paper cut? Because then it's like fighting back against.
Did you hear when they were talking about how wildfires were racist because they were only hitting minority communities?
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember obesity is also racist. There's a whole lot of things you can make racist. Speaking of that, off subject, throw up the squirrel, Kaecey. I don't know if anybody saw this. The collegiate debate champions were these two black lesbian girls, and they got interviewed by their news, and then somebody did a video of what the actual collegiate debate looked like, and these girls just yelled. And did you see this message I sent you all?
No.
No,
I didn't.
Oh my God. I'll have to send it to you guys. It like the fact that they won, all they talked about, they said the N-word 37 times. This is a real collegiate debate. They just kept dropping the N-word. They kept talking about how the N-words are being oppressed, and then sexuality and all these. It's so bad. And it's like, if this is real, I said, please let this be fake, but I don't think it was.
If you want more, you see the comment, they said they want more. If you want more, join me tonight on pilled.net. All right. We're doing another show. America's Conspiracy Compass. We're going to be doing that tonight. I don't know if we're going to cover the rest of the movie or if we should just jump into some more weird, crazy shit, but we're going to do it. Be there. Pill.net. Follow me. Kash.
I thought we were talking about telling people to be more responsible and not jump into more weird, crazy shit. Oh, we're not talking about
do it.
vaginas.
It's worked out great for me. Do it.
Got it. All right. Alvin Bragg moves the date. So, spoiler alert, it was moved to September 18th. He talked about the DA for New York, talked about Trump's sentencing. He moved it to September, which makes no sense to me. I have not been able, except for the fact that I know the date got moved. Is there any reasoning behind this? Have you guys heard anything about this?
Well, they're worried that Trump is going to pursue that he was immune.
So what would the difference be between July and November and September? It's still before the election. What's the damn difference?
Well, because Jack Smith is still going to pursue this to say it was an unofficial act.
Listen, Jack
so
Smith
that
is
is what
sitting
they're
in a
trying
bar
to do.
somewhere drunk, licking his wounds, bruh, because he got fucked up with this decision. Straight up. It's over with. The reason why they're talking about pushing this shit back is because they know if we send him and this shit gets, and we got to go back and say, oh shit, we couldn't convict him on this. This was wrong. There's another lawsuit coming their way. And you better believe you're going to go for it. You better believe it. So now they're just trying to figure out, like, hold on, do we go back here? We can't. Let's not do the sentencing yet. Hold the fuck on. Let's not do
the New York decision, the hush money decision, has nothing to do with the Supreme Court ruling. It's completely unrelated. The hush.
Yes, it does. Because
Alvin Bragg is the 34 felonies, not the hush money stuff.
But even the hush money.
The 30. Go ahead. That's the 34 felonies.
Are they all tied to hush money, or is it just tied to his campaign and money?
It was tied to, but it does. Even if it was tied to campaign, it was tied to. Yeah, it was tied to campaign before he was president. It was 26. This is going back to 2016. This is unrelated to his acts as a president. So it's completely unrelated. This isn't 2019, 2020. This is 2016.
Oh no, bro. I think it's blanketed.
That's a good point.
I think it's blanketed, bro. I think they can be like, I mean, you came after a president. You came after a president that was part of what him becoming president was having a campaign. I'll tell you what, they are panicking about something. That's the only reason why they're pushing this shit back. They're thinking about something that we don't know about. I got a 5-second delay because my daughter, she unplugged my damn Wi-Fi and it messed me all the way up.
No, and you're correct. After looking at this, I pulled up his 34 felonies. They were all tied to money that was paid out through either his campaign or him to Michael Cohen. The problem that I see here is you're making a valid point. There's no tie of those things to anything that he can claim immunity for.
So why move the date? Why this is so I think what they're trying to say, I think that this is another election tactic. They're trying to say, look at this. Trump could get out of any of his crimes because of this ruling by the Supreme Court, which he can't. I mean, again, I don't think it was a crime. I don't think any of it's a crime. I think it was sham court, sham trial, sham judge, all these different things. But when it comes to what the Supreme Court decided yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday, unrelated, completely unrelated to this. So this is just another fear attack that they're putting in the voters saying, look, no matter what he did and does, we're screwed. I think that this is very important to realize that they're moving this for no reason. They're doing this strictly out of fear.
Well, it's out of fear. So maybe the sentencing was going to come light because there wasn't a whole lot with it. And it could just be probation and a fine, a small fine. And then he would be let go. And then they're like, well, what else do we run on? We have a whole other debate that we have to
be
deal
that
with.
too. That's very smart thinking right there. It could be they won't be able to use this shit in the headlines no more.
Correct.
Anytime something good happens, they could be like, Trump to be sitting still, Trump to be sitting still. They could keep this shit running. That's a very good point. Very good point.
And September is at least close to that October surprise area. So again, I think that there's I like, again, part of the idea of truth will set you free is trying to have correct information and trying to like look at the way things are looked at logically from a factual standpoint the best that we can. We don't always have facts. We have the best we can to do truth. And the truth is on this is that there is no ties to the Supreme Court decision and what the New York case was. And it makes no sense. You have to look at, then it becomes speculation, but you have to look at why they're making this decision.
Agreed.
I want to know why you guys aren't acting like white nationalists, white supremacists.
Well, there goes his internet again. I just don't know what happened there, but it's all good. What was our next topic?
Well, we're talking about the Klan rally we're going to later. Speaking of that, man, it's getting late. I got to put my white sheet on. There's a cross burning in the field way over there in Oregon. So, you know why?
That.
You know why? Because they're Democrats. They're Democrats.
I doubt that. They ain't gonna
Democrats.
be no. You probably got a parade of men wearing thongs and have titties out there. That's probably what you got out there in Oregon.
Speaking of that, squirrel. Put the squirrel up, Kaecey. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Did you see Taylor Hanson?
Wait. What color is my skin? You're telling me to do what?
Make me a bicycle clown. Have you seen the Taylor Hanson clip? I can't remember what state it was. The Pride Parade. I don't think it was Utah, but it was part of the Pride Parade, but it was a private celebration, but it was only separated by a chain link fence, and there was two dudes in like, you know, the whips leather, whatever, barely wearing any clothes, just enough to cover up. One dude sucking the other dude off and getting
that. I almost did a video. I just didn't want to get banned.
Peeing on him in a kiddie pool. And Taylor Hanson, who I've interviewed, great guy, he literally went to the police and said, are you going to do anything about it? They're like, is it in the parade? And he's like, well, it's right there on the other side of the fence, part of the parade. It's like right there. Everybody can see it. Children can see it. And the cop goes, we got to choose our battles. How did he say? We got to choose our battles wisely or something like that. He essentially said that if it's not violent, they're not gonna do anything with it. The guy's getting filleted in public and pissed on. He even took a photo of the kiddie pool that was a yellow puddle.
Thongs and thongs. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah. Yo, tonight, you guys, I hope to see you all at pilled.net. I would love to see everybody there. It's going to be a cool show. Don't know what the topics are yet. Kaecey, you're joining me, right? 8:30? My time?
Yeah, I can be there.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're going to do it. And I can't wait to show you guys this new intro. I added some stuff from what you've seen earlier. It's pretty fucking dope.
Fix the font at the end. It looks like it's from
I did already.
Good. All right, guys. That's how we're going to wrap up the show. Kash is going to take us out. Make sure you like this video, share this video, do all the things with this video. As a reminder, if you like the gear, the hats, the shirts, all of the above, especially my personal favorite, which I do get a lot of compliments on.
Yes.
The convicted felon. Proud to vote for a convicted felon, Trump 2024. Yes. Go to awakenetwokestore.com. Use truth for 20% off. Make sure you're sharing, liking all of our pages. Kash, take us home, my friend.
Yes, it's 8:30 Central Time. Just want to point that out. But unite. Don't fight. Be a street light. Because only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America. Because without God, everything falls apart. See, hermano.
See what I did there? Because the delay, I pretended to do the woo. It was a joke. I thought it was funny.
It wasn't. I didn't know what the hell happened. I'm like, he just prematurely wooed.
Wouldn't be the first time I prematurely wooed in your.
Just going to say the same thing.
We're still on. Okay. All right.